The AZUBU Terran has 2 wins so far in this match. To the bottom right, Red City, we have the Terran, calls himself
AZUBU Supernova.
Just waiting to explode. Or, you know, currently exploding as Supernova is.
The Gorgonzola Terran.
Yes.
To the bottom left of the map, we have his opponent in blue for Axiom-Acer. It is
Axiom-Acer.
You know, at that moment, I was trying to remember what they were called, and I was like, they're like the Gondor. I'm like, no, that's from Lord of the Rings. I'm like, they're Gorgons? I'm like, no, that's from another movie, I think. What were those called, by the way? Were they Gorgons? Those battle cruisers.
Gargantuan?
Gargantuan? No, I don't think that's it.
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I'm trying to come up with anything that starts with a G here, but like it's definitely not Gorgonzola.
Yeah, well, maybe not. I guess not. No. But, you know, that was the mission. You got to move the Queen Spore, get the Spore Crawlers up, teaching you a lot about creep spread. No, it was not Spore Crawlers. It was the Scourges that you had to get out on that mission. Very famous StarCraft 1 unit.
What? Which one are you talking about right now?
The one where you have to, like, there's the Scourge nest, and you have to bring the Queen over and get the Creep Timber next to it. Then you do this before the Battlecruiser comes in, and then the Scourges come up, blow up the Battlecruiser, and Warfield gets all upset.
Which StarCraft are we talking about here?
Heart of the Swarm.
Heart of the Swarm?
Yeah. So Warfield's like,
yeah, that mission, yeah. That was really, I mean, the mission design was pretty cool in Heart of the Swarm, but I feel this one was a little bit, that was way too easy.
Yeah, that one was really easy. Actually, I felt the campaign, for me, is relatively easy. I'm not sure if that's because we're just competitive players or...
Nah, I completely agree. If you compare it to Wings of Liberty, the Heart of the Swarm campaign, I loved the mission design. I loved the single player. It was amazing, but it was way too easy. I mean, on Brutal, that was like no challenge whatsoever.
You know, even though it was easy, I still loved playing it because of all the different choices you could make and all the different upgrades you could get.
The mission design was just awesome. But I think there was only one mission, I can't even remember which one it was, that I had to play like several times and try. It was one of those hero missions where you have to take down those 3 hero guys.
Oh, are you talking about the one where you have to kill the buildings?
No, it's the one. It's basically you have like you have battles like in Diablo 3.
Oh, okay. You're talking about this. Oh, this Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah,
one. I remember
that Heart of the Swarm mission was the only one where I had to start it several times on Brutal, and every other mission you could just finish from the start. So that was like no challenge. I feel with Legacy of the Void, I would love the same mission design. That was awesome. I loved it, but you could make it a bit harder, at least on Brutal.
I would love to see like a new difficulty altogether above Brutal, like Elite or something. But anyway, just going into this game, we have a Widowmine drop opener for Supernova, and this probe, trying to see if there's a Command Center. Alicia gets no such luck though. You just did your run-of-the-mill Mothership Core expand, as you can see, and now is going into Forge.
Yeah, and of course we have with the Mothership Core always the option to go for the Photon Overcharge to stop the drop play. This is one of the biggest problems that Terran players have these days, trying to drop against the Protoss player, that the Mothership Core just is such a great unit in defensive style.
Don't forget though that he does not have a robotics. It just now has started on the production tab, so he's not going to have detection. And this Widowmine's just going to serve as a defensive unit until the dropship is ready. And ooh, I love it.
That, oh, so close. He's actually just trying to bait him in again.
You heard that Widowmine make that little noise? That was like the disappointed Widowmine sound.
Aww. That's how Widowmine sounds like.
Well, he's going to go for it, and it was not spotted by Alicia. He makes a cannon, though, and that is just a great safe measure because a cannon is exactly what you want against a Widowmine. It not only detects, but also will just straight up kill the Widowmine in 3 shots.
A lot of Terran Protoss players are doing this these days, trying to just make sure that they are not dying to a Widowmine drop. And here comes the Medivac. There is no cannon at the natural.
Don't forget the Marines are coming in, too, so he's going to distract the Stalkers. And this is so excellent. He distracts the Stalkers, but the detector is there, the cannon.
Yeah, no problem whatsoever. Loses a few at the natural, but not too many.
Yeah, that was just the great distraction by those Marines, but overall, Alicia definitely gets the better trade out of this.
That was really well done. I mean, that was an amazing defense. He didn't lose anything in the main base, 2 probes at the natural, so that was so worth it.
I really like the position for Alicia right now, and the way he'd use that Forge is, it's twofold useful because obviously you get the upgrade, but also you get the cannon.
And I love how Supernova looks at this game and it's like, okay, I'm going to open up with Widow Mines. Widow Mines fail, and he's like, ha, Hellbats, go.
Next, he's going to go into the Gargonzola.
Okay, and if the Gargonzola fails, he's going for the Cloak Banshees.
Yes. Oh, that Widow Mine is just so sad.
Yeah, that's the saddest Widow Mine ever.
Oh, that was really, really great play by Alicia here. I'm actually just taken aback by his micro. I'm a little bit speechless.
You know who the Widow Mine is? That is the Wally Widow Mine. Oh. That Widow Mine is Wally.
It is, man. Did you see that scan, by the way? Oh, he's going to get it.
Oh! Finally!
Happy ending.
Happy Wally here.
But he saved his Widow Mine with that scan, killed the Observer, and also was able to make sure the Widow Mine did not activate during that time. That was really, really well done by both players.
Yeah. Hellbats now on the way, 2 already in the dropship. And Alicia so far has done a really good job with his defense. Can he do it against the Hellbats? That's the question.
Mothership Core is in position. He doesn't have a cannon, though.
And moving in now. Afterburners, there we go. Dropping it. Here comes the overcharge.
He needs to pull the probes, though, because...
Oh, and they cluster nicely. No, 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 no. Oh my god, that was so close. Clustering them up at the simulator. That was a bold move.
I think that might have been a misclick. He probably wanted to right-click next to this somewhere and accidentally clicked on it. But we have a... I don't want to speak too soon, but we have a mech-oriented composition coming out here with 2 additional factories going down, +1's finishing. He starts a Raven.
Well, I think with the 2 factories, you can speak now about it.
I
don't think there's something else.
Yeah, he's making Marines still, but I think it's just for that first bunker, and then once he fills the bunker, he's going to stop.
Well, so far, Alicia doing a great job with his defense, as we pointed out already earlier when he defended against the Widow Mines, but also the Hellbats not doing as much as Supernova was hoping. Terran player is still in a decent position here, now going into the mech composition that we just mentioned. And we have also Ravens on its way. But the Forgers in the Bane base of Alicia, they will eventually give him a lead if he chrono boosts.
Yeah, there's no way to chrono boost that solo armory. That Observer gets away very lucky. If it were Creator, that would have definitely died.
Storm now being researched here in addition to Blink, the second armor upgrade on its way. Both of them just sitting tight right now, so the aggression, at least for the time being, is over. Both of them just relaxing a little bit and trying to stabilize, getting their position out on the map.
Yeah. I'm really, really curious about this mech composition. He's doing it so far siege tankless, but with that tech lab, obviously supply block, he's going to start 2 tanks at a time. This is pretty cool. This is what a lot of people wanted to see in Heart of the Swarm. When is mech coming back? Are we going to see Widow Mines, Hellbats, and tanks? And we may see just that. I mean, it looks like we are going to, minus the Widow Mines. No Widow Mines in production at this moment in time.
Could have actually tried to stick around a little bit longer, but with the Blink coming in, he didn't want to risk it. If those Stalkers blink in and snipe the Medivac, then he will lose everything here. But now we have not only the dropship still being en route, but he's building this massive force at home. More and more Hellbats are being produced here. The +2 attack upgrade has been started. Storm is, of course, going to be an issue depending on positioning. But this is now a situation where Supernova is still the one who is trying to do something. Oh, the feedback is not good. It's just too late, but he can still pull it off, and there it is.
Yeah, that could have been a lot better. Definitely the idea was there. And you know what becomes really interesting to me is, more so than the mech composition itself, is how does Alicia respond? Because dealing with mech in Heart of the Storm is pretty weird. You know, you have to make sure that you have good amounts of all types of units. You can't just go heavy on the Immortal because you still have to deal with those siege tanks. And how are you going to close the gap to the siege tanks when there's Hellions there blocking your charge zealots?
He's not getting any robo units. He's going for the charge now. He's still going for a gateway composition. And this is becoming an issue. Those Hellbats are great against zealots, so charge lots are not going to be the answer here.
Storm and Archon is usually what you want.
The robotic space now also coming in that allows him to go straight into Colossi, but still the army's moving out now.
Yeah, good blink here. You know, you've made the best of a bad situation trying to kill those medevacs.
But I feel that this is the first time that Alicia is really aware of what's going on here, and he needs to have like really good storms to deal with this.
Yeah, and he doesn't, I see how many Templar does he have? He has 3. I'm not sure if all those actually have enough energy.
He has a few, but here we go. Storm number 1 and number 2, good storms, but the thing is that this army can also tank a storm or 2.
Yeah, and the storms are right on top of each other, so he didn't actually, storms don't stack. I mean, the most casual players even know that, so that was not a lot of damage done there on the second one.
Here come the siege tanks, and they are already beginning to zone out those High Templars. and he can just drop on the high ground. This is a brilliant position for him to put the aggression on this natural.
I love how he goes on the high ground here, even having some Hellbats up there. This is a great position to attack from. He's going to just go in there. Storm is decent here. Secret Missile
is decent, but still, the Secret Missile only hitting the Immortal here, taking the shields away. But the Zealots, they cannot engage into this.
Yeah, this is...
And like the SCV's repair.
Yeah, like you said, this is just a situation where it looks like Alicia was not prepared to deal with Mech.
A lot of the units still back at home. That's a bit of an oversight for Supernova.
Yeah, he didn't rally there. And he's going to be able to target this Nexus now, no problem.
Yeah, Nexus is going to be down, bam, but he still has another one over to the top left.
A little bit weird he didn't go for those probes.
Alicia just looks like he's in a position where he can't do anything.
He's trapped, and this is exactly how Mech is supposed to make you feel if you did it right.
The Mothership Core is doing such a great job against the tanks here. And here we go, the Zealots charging in, but the Helmets are toasting them.
Yeah, he breaks down the ramp, but the problem is he just can't fight with all of his units. The Archon's coming in, and it looks like he will push the burst wave back. Those units that were at home for Supernova, really, he's missing those right now.
Yeah, he needed them, and this is the chance that Alicia has. He's pushing in, and he's taking a supply lead. Supernova was missing half of his army here, and it just shows.
Yeah, I mean, they're there now, but just way too late.
The Archons now have the perfect angle. Most of the siege tanks are already gone. Alicia pushing out at the perfect moment in time, and Supernova being punished for leaving half his army at this natural.
And like we saw in Game 1, or the first Terran versus Terran, if you lose your mech army, there's no replacing it. And that's why we see this supply difference like it is. It's too expensive, it's too slow, and right now Alicia is just going to end the game. He's on a 2.5 base economy. He did lose a lot of probes and his Nexus, but...
I really think that if he had his entire army together, if he would have hit that F1 button once... Oh, it's F2, right?
F2.
I never use it, so I don't know. But yeah, then he would have crushed this, but as it is, it's just Alicia moving in, blinking on the high ground, taking down the siege tanks, and he's going to win this game no matter what.
Yeah, if he had that army, there's no way Alicia breaks down the ramp and wins this. Alicia's got to be very relieved here.
GG. Alicia takes another win for Axiom-Acer, aided by Supernova, missing half of his army. I really like the idea of Supernova. This was such an entertaining style that he played here, and something that we don't see all that often. It's becoming a little bit more popular, but really, this position was great, having the high ground advantage, dropping the siege tanks on top of the cliff, and then taking down the natural of Alicia. And he knows that he just dodged a bullet.
Yeah, that was definitely a little bit of a weird ending that we had. I get the idea to leave some units at home, but not that many. You know, if you have 4 Hellbats there, you can defend against a Zealot run by fine, but you don't want to have that many at home.
Yeah, I think he just misplaced his rally point.
Yeah, when you rally, or when you move out with mech, you don't always rally the first part because you're scared Zealots are going to catch some of those units. But once you have a big enough chunk that you can send, you want to start rallying, and he did not do that.
As it is, Axiom-Acer takes once again a lead in the series, now a 3-2, and we have to find out what the next player is for Team AZUBU. So at this point, I mean, they have such a big roster, they could send out a Zerg player now, for example.
Yeah.
Given the map choice, they have the map choice in this situation, but they are still 1 point behind, and Alicia, of course, is really curious to know who's going to be the last man standing for the team. Might be Symbol here, but we have so many players on this bench that he doesn't necessarily have to be him. And with regards to his performance now in the individual league, are we going to see him?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, he's the strongest player, but I feel now you don't really want to send him out.
I could see it still, though. I mean,
it's
I don't want to, but I think they might do it.
It's very player-specific if players want to hide their strategies. Depending on who you ask, players will tell you, okay, I feel that I have so many different builds and so many different maps that I can play that it's no problem for me to come out in the team league against a different opponent. Then you ask the next player, and he's like, yeah, I don't really want to give my opponent anything to work with. No chance to analyze my scouting pattern or anything at all, so I really don't want to show it. So it really depends. It's a matter of personal preference.
And even if you go out and you're like, well, I'm not going to show them the one I'm using GSL, then you use a build that you're not really practicing, and your timings feel a little bit off. You know, you're a little bit rusty on that type of build, so it can get in your head. I could see them actually sending him out, or sending out Genius, though. Definitely a possibility. Here's this replay now. This is half the army up at the front. It gets totally crushed. Look at the supply. You can see they're very close, but the second part of the army comes in just way too late.
Most of the siege tanks are already in a bad spot. I mean, the Hellbats are trying to get in now, but they could have done so much more before that. It's already just too late. Now the Protoss player has the Arc and even the high ground advantage, sniping those tanks in the back. So it was just a little bit too late. 10 seconds later, and this would have been a completely different ballgame.
Yeah. Absolutely so.
But as it is, I mean, Alicia identifies that he has the chance to move out, and he does it exactly when he has to. So doing what he needs to win the game and takes the victory here.
Yeah, that was just, I mean, it's so weird to watch a game like that because just one little thing would have made the game so different. Alicia's like struggling, can barely break out, and he breaks out and beats that army, and it's like, that's just not how it was supposed to be. He was actually supposed to not be able to get out, and he was probably wondering, like, well, it seems really small. Actually, I did get out of here.
Yeah, that was definitely not the idea that Supernova was pursuing.
He wanted to have it contained. He wanted to keep him in the base because he didn't even have a third yet.
And he had a good position for it. But now we're going to find out who the last player is going to be, and it is going to be Symbol. Once again, the last man standing for his team, same that we saw the last time when they were playing. And now it is Alicia against Symbol. Might be the last game of the day. Zerg versus Protoss. But before we head into this match, we are going to head into another 5-minute break. And as soon as we are back, we will see Symbol facing off against Alicia. So see you guys in a few.